The next clip that you are going to see is of Tamara, who is a brilliant copywriter, and she has a breakthrough moment after going through the UpLevel Mind coaching process where she really realizes that she is sitting on this gold mine of skills, of expertise, working with these 6 and 7 figure business owners, but really not allowing herself to see that through her full potential and her success. And the breakthrough that she has that you can realize in this conversation is she has the realization that she is really avoiding the full-on issue, right? She understands what is happening as far as the patterns in her life that she doesn't want to change and how it's happening in her business, but she doesn't realize that it is her gift, her eloquence, her ability to use her words well that really dances around the issue of what she doesn't want to face, which if you watched a longer clip afterwards, we dive into a lot of the childhood patterns that led to it, all of the limiting beliefs that she has that led to her holding herself back. This is her breakthrough moment and really realizing how she is avoiding the core issue. So enjoy this clip, and if you want to watch the questions that led to the full realization, you can watch the remainder of the clip.
I think one of my biggest struggles is saying, it might be just even owning the fact that this is what I do and I'm good at it and I'm deserving of it. Because now that I'm thinking about it, because your questions are really good. I've never been in this situation where somebody's asked me about this. So it's like, it's making me kind of really reflect. And this is a reason why I wanted to talk to you, is because it's like, there's that, it's like, I have all of the knowledge, all of the skills, I have the funnel set up, I have everything set up. But it's almost like, because I don't have that degree, I almost feel like it's like I don't have a degree. I'm like, I have a universal degree and I can woo the hell out of somebody. And I mean, I can get them crying. I mean, I can touch their soul, but I want to transfer that into my work. I want to transfer that into my copy and my consulting and my, my strategizing. And I want that to shine through, so the people that my clients that I'm actually getting paid to work with are reflecting that into their work. When you asked me to say things in one sentence, that was a key to kind of help and break through to finding at least a little speck of clarity in the motions that I'm going. Because like you said, I speak eloquently. So I think when you told me that I was using my words to circle around so that I didn't have to face the problem. So it's almost like I was doing that with myself. So instead of facing myself, I'm just like telling these awesome stories and like being able to like really like woo woo out my life, or my words rather, when I need to be more simple and more eloquent with myself and simplify the success rate that I am going on, and stop using my past as an excuse to not be as successful as I know that I can be. Because I know what I'm capable of, but I'm also scared of what I'm capable of.
So what you're going to see in the remainder of these clips is just the highlights from Tamara's episode on the questions that I had asked her, the pieces of the UpLevel Mind coaching process that I walked her through to get her to the breakthroughs that you had just witnessed. If you want to watch the full thing, you can look up the full episode. Otherwise, enjoy these highlights.
Because I had a moment of like, I was like freaking out for a second, and he was just like, you need to switch your mind to abundance from scarcity. And that hit me like a brick, because I'm like working with like these like multi, these 6-figure income people and some millionaires, and I'm still at that scarcity mindset. And so that might be my issue, that the worthiness of accepting all of that into me that I'm allowing other people to take from me. It might be where my block is. I don't know. I didn't realize this is actually really a very vulnerable spot for me, because I don't have the answer. I have everybody else's answer, but I don't have the answer for myself.
And if you could tap back into that disappointment, like in the body, really tuning in without your head getting in the way too much, what is it really disappointed about?
Letting fear control my success.
So for the next few questions, what I'm gonna, I mean, you could think of it as a request, you can think of it as a challenge, but I'm gonna ask you to answer in single sentences.
Okay.
Okay. And the reason is you're so eloquent with your words, right? Like, not surprisingly, given what you do, that I think the scared part of your brain that doesn't really want to dive into these questions hijacks that very quickly. And I always say on the podcast, like, our primary strengths become our first distortions.
Um, the fear of being left out for me represents my childhood, as whenever, like, for instance, when I'm reaching out to people and trying to get information, or I want to like question them or find out about them more, like people who I would model myself after, I always feel like they're part of the cool club. And I'm part of, like, I'm like the kid over in the corner of the parking lot or the playground that's like picking their nose and like wishing they were cool. you know so, and then, I was left out of my family. Like, they took their families and they ran with it, and then I was just kind of left. My mom had her family and new family, and my dad had his new family, and then I was the only child between them two, and then I was left out. So I think that fear of that insecurity, rather, I guess it's more of an insecurity than a fear of being left out, and is the answer to that.
Okay. So then, to connect it further to the present, how is you putting your gifts to use on yourself so that you can succeed more, triggering being left out?
I feel like I'm leaving myself out because I'm following through more for others than I am for myself.
So you are doing what you felt like your parents were doing to you, you are doing to yourself.
Yeah, this is some pretty deep stuff. I'm pretty impressed. I'm like, wow, okay, you're hitting on some stuff. Yeah, I feel I feel safe in that comment. Yes, for sure. And it seems almost juvenile to me when I hear it.
It always does. And my follow up to that would be, is it children or adults that get abandoned?
I feel like the children get abandoned, and when they turn into adults, it's their choice to continue to be abandoned. I don't know how to say that I don't know how to articulate that, but
Yeah,
it's the children that get abandoned.
correct.
And
So
it's,
the reason I bring that up is kids up to a certain age are very much dependent on us. So abandonment is an extremely real thing. And it,
that's exactly where I'm at right now. Is like I'm on that point of like where I want to process it out. Like I want to process it. I'm literally, and I've this is your, it's almost like you're reading my mind in a way of what I've been going through over the past, like trying to really reflect on, is like, okay, you cannot, and it's actually, I've been reading James Clear Atomic Habits recently, and I wrote about this, and kind of like a review on the section on chapter 11 about and he talks about this, and he talks about how making that connection, and like, God, letting go. I kind of lost my train of thought, but letting go. I want to be able to process it. I want to be able to, like, not, oh, the motion. That's what it was. It's like right now I'm in the motion. I'm not doing the action. It's like I'm continuously in motion because it gives me the security of not failing. So it's like now I need to take the action and get past the fear so that I can say that, I'm not going to fail, that I am worthy, that I am able to do these things. And so he talks about that. He says, a lot of people, they stay in motion because it feels like action, but actually motion, if with motion without action, is just you delaying failure. your fear of
Correct.
failure.
Yeah, it's like
And
covering a lot
so,
of distance, but not really getting closer to what you want.
yeah,